Today we're reacting to Jason Derulo talking about his reason as to why he would never work with women again. Let's talk about it. Now I'm gonna have to ask for you guys' forgiveness before we start the video because unfortunately I can't show my beautiful handsome face on camera today because I'm recording this video at a work shift right now. I'm sneaking in and out to record this because content needs to go on and I won't have time in the evening. But we're still gonna make the show go on. We're still gonna make sure that we get these videos out, and that's what we're doing today. But without further ado, today we're talking about Jason Derulo, like I said. Very controversial thing that he said about the situation. For those of you who don't know who Jason Derulo is, he's an individual who was an artist, but then later blew up on TikTok. And he talks about his experience about why his career almost ended. And it's to do with a quote unquote false allegation that he received from someone that worked under him. Let's take a look at it before I give my thoughts on what you can learn from this experience. By the way, cool people, subscribe to this channel. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
There was a lawsuit not too long ago by an artist that was like hired to your label that was dismissed.
Twice.
What did you learn going through that?
Never work with women.
Oh, come on.
There's truth in every joke. But it's a sad truth. Like, I will never be alone in a room with a woman that I work with. Like, ever again.
What?
It's too risky. That case was dismissed twice in two different states. And there's hardly no mention of it online. When that case was brought up, it was on every single blog, every single front page. And I lost so many brand deals, relationships off of a story that was not even slightly believable. She said I sacrificed a goat in a sexual ritual. All people read was the headline, right? And that's all it takes to lose everything. That's a crazy concept. I lost millions of dollars off of an arbitrary story that some woman told. Like a crazy story that some woman told. So, with that being said, how can I be comfortable being in a room with a woman that I work with and not feel like she can just say whatever she wants? It's like, it's not worth it to me.
Now, I think we can all agree we've heard our fair share of false allegations on the internet. We saw Amber Heard and we've seen a few other people, but Amber Heard is like, the poster child of false allegations. But in specific to Jason Derulo's case, before we even talk about this, let's analyze the situation because I can understand if Jason Derulo gets accused of anything that's not true. He's a person that has money, he's done well for his career, things like that. But can we just sit there and acknowledge for a second how specific this allegation is? Like, the girl didn't even say, oh, he raped me or he touched me up. The girl said that, oh, he sacrificed a goat in a sexual ritual and stuff like that. Now, for me personally, but again, I could be wrong and I'm not going to accuse someone of something that they didn't do. But I'm just saying, doesn't it sound a bit suspicious, a bit specific? Doesn't it sound like a bit too specific? Like, something tells me that maybe it happened, but I have no proof. But I'm just gonna say it's a bit too specific. Just a bit. Just a bit too specific. But moving on though, we're here to talk about, the backlash of what he said, which was, oh, it's not worth working with women by themselves anymore. And I agree with this take wholeheartedly. Now, whether he did it or not, I don't know for sure. But, in reference to speaking and working with women on your lonesome as a man, it's far too risky. In fact, it always has been risky, but even more so nowadays with this era that we live in, where there's this whole believe all women era. You know, you never know how things can move left for you. Now, a lot of people are saying that he's a bit dramatic, and some people are even saying that he should be trying to gain people's trust. But I'm of the opinion that if you have to look out for yourself and keep yourself safe, then it doesn't really matter what anyone else feels at the end of the day. So long as you're not rude or harming anyone, at the end of the day, if you are not willing to deal with certain types of people, then that's okay. And I think for a man, in the case where you are by yourself alone with the woman, of course, that makes sense. Guys, we have to understand that we as men, especially black men, if you are left alone with a woman and that woman says something crazy, no one's going to believe you. I promise you, no one's going to believe you, especially if you're a black man. Simply put it, because there is no proof. It's he say, she say, and there's tears flying around. You don't ever know this kind of spirit that women have, inside them. And this could be with men as well, but we're talking about women specifically for men in this video. But we talk about people that have been falsely accused and stuff like that. You never think it would happen to you until it happens to you. To be told, there's some people that just have a bad spirit. And for the simple fact that you don't know what kind of spirit people have, you shouldn't be so open to trust anyone about, working with them or being so close to them, because those same people could just do evil for the fun of it. Now, that's not what I'm saying that this woman is doing. I'm just speaking specifically about working with women by yourself. You've got to be very knowledgeable. A lot of people will sit here saying, well, why would someone just sit there and make up an allegation? We are still trying to figure out the answer to that to this very day. Some people do it for malicious intentions. Some people do it because they are dramatic. Some people just do it for the love of the game. We really don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care why people do it. But if you're a man, especially this day and age, be very careful how you move with women by themselves.
When you go into that courtroom, the jury is going to see a big black teenager, and you're automatically going to be assumed guilty. Those are her exact words.
He took the deal, went to prison, and had to register as a sex offender.
God even warns us about this in the Bible with the situation of Joseph. And Joseph, he was a person who was simply working for his master. He was doing his own thing, making sure that everything was done in correction and to satisfaction of his master. And that pleased his master. But then his master's wife randomly came and pressed upon him, trying to, get active with him, get very sexually involved with him. But he rejected her and pushed her away. Now, we have to understand Joseph did nothing wrong. And you would think that, oh, well, this woman is married to Joseph's boss. She, is someone that's above Joseph. So, and she's married to someone of power. So, why would she go toward Joseph and try to take advantage of him? What's the gain of it? And like I said, some people just do it for the love of the game. Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe she found him attractive or whatever it is, but the point is she's doing it for the love of the game. Joseph had to run away, and as he ran away, he got falsely accused. And what happened? He got locked in jail for years. Now, obviously, God rewarded him for his faith and staying positive amidst that situation. But that is someone in the Bible that's been, locked up for literally doing nothing, just mind his own business, being falsely accused. You got to understand that a lot of things that we see nowadays in society have already happened in the Bible. And some people think that, oh, the Bible is this text that's used for holy purposes. And yes, it is. But you will find that a lot of the stories in the Bible are used as lessons of what not to do. You recognize the pattern, you see the pattern that's happened in the Bible, you then compare that with what's happening in the world, and then you move accordingly with that for your own life. And in the case of this, you have to be super duper careful of women in general. My advice, if you want to work with women when other people are there. Not only is it good for her safety and her to feel not intimidated, say if you're an intimidating person because of your size or the way that you talk, it's good that other people are there as witnesses, number one. And number two, it's also good for not only her safety, but your safety in the sense that, you aren't in a compromising position. You don't have any kind of say where you are in a situation where you could be falsely accused. Many times we've seen people be falsely accused of things that they just would never do because of the situation they're in, because it looks so vulnerable and compromising. That's why it can be used to the enemy's advantage. I mean, we even saw with Michael Jackson, where he was accused of touching up children, when really that's not what he was doing. And yes, we do know Michael Jackson is not that type of person, but at the end of the day, the enemy could have used his situation of having children over at his house as a thing to spin a narrative of how he's a PDF file. You see, this is the kind of things people do. Even the speak of you might have done it is enough to destroy your career. And I know there's a lot of people out here who want to do good things with their life, want to move up the ladder, who want to do things, but you have to be careful of the fact that even if you didn't do it, it can still affect your career. We see with Jason Derulo's case, although I'm unsure he did it, I'm half half. But we see what happened. He lost brand deals and stuff like that. If the individual is genuinely innocent, that means simply because of this controversy alone, he lost everything. And that could be the same thing with you. Remember, you don't have Jason Derulo money. You are just a normal civilian. So if you get falsely accused, it's going to take a miracle for you to come out of that situation. But be very wise, be very smart, be very careful when you're out here, guys. It's too dangerous to just be, not thinking straight. Don't work by yourself. Don't put yourself in a compromising position with women by yourself. Work in a surrounding environment. Respect their space. Don't be too handsy. Don't be too touchy. Because sometimes guys can be too touchy and too handsy, and they think they're just playing around, but really that woman is uncomfortable. That's also a realistic thing. But the point is, when you are a man, be careful around women, not just for your safety, but for their safety. Don't be too handsy. Don't be looking at them a certain way. Don't be talking a certain way. Be very, very like social distancing, and heck, if you can, just avoid the whole situation in general. My advice as well, especially when you are in a situation where you have no choice but to be alone with the woman, record the conversation, record the interaction, do a voice memo on your phone. I always do that just in case. I know I've never had to use it, but it is a peace of mind knowing that there's never going to be a he say, she say moment with me because I record things. But call me paranoid, that's just what it is. But you gotta be careful. Now, please, by no means, do not take this as don't trust women and hate women. You should trust women and you should love women. We're all God's creation. God's made us all in his image. I'm just saying, be very aware that you are a man. Be very aware of how things could seem, and be aware that you need to move smart and not reckless. You get what I'm saying? I know women can be beautiful, you get what I'm saying? But some guys get too excited that they don't think of how things could seem. They don't understand their presence in the situation. They don't get how they could seem intimidating. All I am saying is be smart and don't be so trusting of every woman. You get what I'm saying? The same way you wouldn't trust every man, don't be trusting every woman. But I feel like men have this thing where it's because women are beautiful, they trust every woman, thinking no woman could do this. But there's actually real women demons out there, especially with men as well. There's men demons and there's women demons. All I'm saying to you guys is please, 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 in the name of God, be very careful. Now, women, I have a video coming for you guys, a diverse topic, but that's a different topic for a different day. But yeah, men, be aware that you are a man. Be aware that you have to be very, very smart. Do not put yourself in vulnerable and compromising positions that could look weird. Just be smart about things. But what do you think about this whole situation? Do you agree with what I have to say, or do you think I'm talking on my bum? Guys, the case we are really to see what you guys have to say. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, that being said. God bless, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.